This prisoner's having a fit.
Ambulance, yeah.
He was arrested for violence and now he's completely out of it. Under a doctor's supervision, he's being restrained so he can't hurt himself or anyone else. To make matters worse, he speaks no English.
Gemma, could you get me a double crewed unit as an urgency, please?
The sergeant wants an ambulance.
He's shaking and he's foaming at the mouth with blood coming out of his mouth.
When he was charged, he was sweating and shaking, which are signs of alcohol withdrawal.
One man has brought every custody officer to their knees.
What do we need? We just need a few more officers to CID, then uniform arrive as backup.
This guy's built like one of the entries to World's Strongest Man.
He's had a fit, he's panicking. Calm down, down.
What happens in a busy custody suite when there's no one left to hold the fort?
It's down here. Down.
Welcome to the lockup. On the northeast coast, the city of Hull gets its fair share of booze-related crime. Of 25,000 arrests every year, more than a third involve drugs or drink. And most end up here at the custody suite of Humberside Police Headquarters in Priory Road. The man in charge is Sergeant Pete Swan.
You had your say. I don't want to listen to you either. That's why you're going to a cell.
He leads a team whose job it is to look after everyone, no matter how drunk they may be.
Wake up.
Never have so many officers crammed into one cell to control just one detainee. And there are 15 other custody guests demanding room service. Sergeant Peter Swan has no choice. The lockup is shut up.
Can you let everyone know that we're closed? We're trying to send the prisoners, but we've got an emergency going on.
I've never had to close the custody suite in all my years as a sergeant until tonight. It's a badge of honour. We don't close unless we have to.
Even the paramedics have to wait for their moment. It's still not safe.
We're going to try and get him on his side to get the hand behind his back and then bring the other one round.
Relax, yeah? No problem.
Have you had the background to what's happened?
Yeah, partially.
Yeah, and I think what you've seen there has been panic at what we've been doing. The difficulty is he speaks no English whatsoever, so he's got no idea what's happening. Yes, I am. Thanks. Ambulance.
Okay.
You're going to go to hospital.
Yeah.
It's a real nightmare situation for me, is that. An alcoholic Pole that speaks no English withdrawing from alcohol. And with 10 people all in one cell restraining one person, you can't deal with anything because there's nobody to deal with it, basically. So you just hope the same thing doesn't happen in two places at once, otherwise you're really up the creek, shall we say.
He may be a patient, but he's still cuffed and strapped in case he becomes violent again.
Thank you, everybody. Every man Jack Harry of us has been in the one cell, so that's why we've not been able to do anything. Oh, no.
The shutdown means Sergeant Swan has to tell his boss, while the prisoner is chauffeured away in his own personal motorcade.
I think he'll be OK now, though, because there's a taser car behind and there's 2 officers in the ambulance. So, yeah, it's all good stuff, all good stuff. But the tap was on in the toilet during all the fun and games. And eventually it's overflowed. So I'm not quite ankle deep, but I'm bootlace deep in water. So needless to say, when the prisoners press the buzzer, they're getting short shrift. Anyway, I'm open to business again.
I'm just going to check that to see if it's stopped leaking now, Pete.
The longest-serving lock-up staffer is on the case. Jill, the cleaner of 8 years with her plumber's mate.
It's just dripped on me. I bet there's a hole in that pipe.
We're generally managers of a custody suite, so if there are faults, deficiencies in stores or issues with detainees, that's our role.
Feel under that side there, where my hands are.
There was a deluge on my hand there when you did that. Anyway, I'll call the plumber.
Before I go home, I'll come and check again, because I've mopped it, and it's not dripping now.
Is there no end to our talent? She'd be the perfect woman if she didn't support LFC, you know.
He's lovely, he's Swanee. We have a bit of banter because we support different rugby teams, so we do have banter, big style. All friendly, nice banter though.
The next customer through the doors is up from London for a mate's birthday party.
Have you been in custody before?
Yes.
Yes. Brief circumstances, please.
He was seen urinating in the street. He was clearly in drink.
And he clearly still is.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What's your surname?
Gomez Mendes, so double barrel.
Do you want to spell it for me? Yeah.
G-O-M-E-Z hyphen.
That's one barrel.
Yeah.
M for
Mullard.
Miranda. E for Echo. N for November. D for December. O for October.
So I've got G-I-M-E-Z hyphen M-E-N-D-O.
Yeah.
So that's clear then.
Are you working at the moment, Ricardo?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Investment broker.
Restaurant?
No.
No.
Investment
Yeah.
broker.
Ah, right. I ain't got investment broker. What sort of line of work is it? Where do you? Is it?
Estate agent.
Is it in a bank? Is it? What is it?
Estate agent.
Estate agent.
Try that.
Ricardo has an international portfolio.
Do you speak any foreign languages?
I do.
What do you speak?
Spanish,
Yeah.
Japanese,
Yeah.
Italian,
Yeah. Is that it?
Mandarin,
Mandarin. Yeah. Any more?
and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's enough, isn't it? What size shoe do you take?
7.5, but I'll always buy 8.
7.5, but you always buy 8. Okay. Easy.
I really need 4.
You what?
I need to pass win.
You need to pass wins.
You need to let it go, let it go.
Just don't.
And that's everything.
Come over to this side for us.
Can you take that as well, just in case you're still feeling poorly?
Pretty terrible, really, isn't it? Just out on a night out, caught waiting in the street, and then after that, in the cells, it's a bad night. It's not what you want.
Particularly enjoyed the answer to the
shoe size.
Shoe size. I'm a size 7.5, but I'll always buy an 8.
Always buy an 8. You need a bit of light humour, I guess, don't you? Keeps you going.
Absolutely.
Keeps you going.
At check-in, another victim of booze is on the way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2010.
The list of previous offences goes on and on.
Once last year. Criminal damage. Public nuisance. DP has contacted police on 999 system as she wanted a lift from one address to another.
It's no surprise she's been given an ASBO to stop her being a nuisance.
Her ASBO states she cannot call the ambulance service unless a genuine emergency. DP has called 999 and then declined ambulance services when they attend.
And this is her second arrest for antisocial behaviour in the last 24 hours.
Right. She's well in drink and she's been very, very awkward. Shall we have her in her
The usual M11?
usual ensuite?
I'm going to pull you back.
Break off and we're away. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yvonne Jones has cerebral palsy and uses a wheelchair.
Just going back.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome.
Are you okay with your legs down?
So circumstances, please.
She lives in a block of flats. She has an ASBO which states that she can't cause disturbance to the neighbours across the way. She's been banging on the door, shouting and swearing at the neighbours.
Arresting officer?
Myself, 224.
Hey you, 2224. Hey, I'm strong and there's no way that you're gonna get away with this. And I will take out with you. Is it because you're not gonna hear?
Yvonne? Have you had any alcohol, Yvonne, or any drugs today?
Yes, I've had the alcohol, yes.
Roughly how much?
Which is a legal substance.
Yeah, it's still legal as far as I'm aware.
The money, yeah.
How much have you had today?
2 cans, yeah. Strong beer.
2 cans of strong beer, okay, thank you.
I've been dealing with this lady for the best part of 10.5 years. I cannot explain to you how many man hours, how many police hours, how many emergency services phone call hours she's actually taken of our time.
Right, there you go.
Stuart Constable has also met her many times.
Right. Okay. All right. It looks awful. No, she's in a wheelchair, and when she does come into custody, she refuses to move, and also she's difficult to the point of being obstructive.
Hey, Yvonne. How are you doing? How are you doing? I'm giving you paracetamol.
Yvonne is well known to the custody nurses.
Prescribe you back. She comes across as genuine, but she also comes across as attention-seeking. She's quite bright, and I believe she's well aware of the consequences of her actions, and she knows when she phones 999 that there's a good possibility she will end up back in custody. But while she's here, she's got a lot of attention. She's got people looking after her. Which I believe is the underlying motive of why she makes these phone calls.
We've had her going up and down the street in drink, in a wheelchair, kicking off wing mirrors of cars, etc., causing criminal damage. A few years back, she actually was sat in a wheelchair, threw a piece of her own faeces at me, believe it or not, and hit me with a footplate of a wheelchair, and then promptly got up and walked away. This is something she obviously plays on.
Only yesterday, Yvonne was in for abusing the 999 system again. And that wasn't the only trouble she caused.
Well, she's claiming that she's taken an overdose of ibuprofen. Marvellous.
You know that when she told us, she laughed. And we went and looked, and there's only 2 missing from the blister pack.
I know, but I've explained that. We can't afford to take any chances. She knows the score, unfortunately. We can't deviate from it.
The police escorted Yvonne to hospital, but when she got there, she had second thoughts.
Yvonne's had a change of heart and decided to tell the truth. She's told the nurses that she just wants to be dealt with now, and she's not taking any tablets at all. So on that basis, they've discharged her.
Only 24 hours later, and Yvonne's back in for harassing her neighbours, another breach of her ASBO.
What criminal offence have I done? I've not stolen a bag of anybody. I've not hurt anybody. In fact, it's ironic. I'm 2 weeks up the diploma, diploma in counselling, and I'm a quarter of the way through a degree in sociology. So I like people.
Domestic violence is often the result of over-drinking. Kerry Taylor and her partner were on the lash until she reported him for attacking her.
Sunday, Kerry. Evening, Kerry. Have you been in custody before?
But now Kerry's been arrested for attacking the police.
We attended in relation to a domestic incident, and so I tried to move her out of the way. She's punched me in the arm. So she was restrained and arrested. Yes, she did.
That's a lie.
It's not a lie.
That's a lie.
That is not a lie.
There was a report of a domestic incident So we attended to make an arrest, and at that point, the alleged victim didn't want us to make that arrest, I think. Within the melee, a police officer was assaulted by the victim, so the offender was arrested, and so was the victim for assault police.
Right, what injuries have you got?
I've got fucking loads. Then.
Right, I'll put them down.
And that.
You're right.
All right, so we will investigate that matter, and then you'll be interviewed.
Just going downstairs.
Detective Coupland is on the case of the victim who phoned up the police but was brought in as the attacker.
2:30? Yeah. Tell us what went on.
Right. Sat watching TV, as you do. Knock at the door, let them in.
What have they said to you when they've arrived?
Is he here? So I've said no. Said we can hear him. I said, all right then, so what?
And when you're referring to is he here, presumably you meant you're referring to Peter.
But they did find Peter, her boyfriend of 20 years, and nicked him too.
Mr. Webster, you've been arrested for an alleged assault on your partner or former partner, so I'm authorising your detention here while we investigate that.
He's also been attacked by his own dog.
A dog was set loose, presumably with the intention of biting police officers, but it decided it would bite anybody, and it actually bit the alleged offender.
So there was now an angry victim, angry offender, angry dog, and astonished police.
And then starts running around my house like psychos. With that, a little staffy starts ragging on Peter's foot.
This officer's account does mention the little staffy. Peter made a reference that he would get the dog off in his own way.
He would, but they had his fucking hands pushed so far up his head, even God himself wouldn't have been able to move.
Fair enough.
Do you want to just pull you... Do you want to show my colleague?
Yeah.
He's got a few... Oh, is that from the dog?
Well, it's either that or one of your dog biting me.
Yeah, right. I'm not a biter, sir. More of a lover.
Peter's not smitten, he's bitten.
Now there's blood pissing out all over the floor. So I stood up to go stop the dog, and she grabbed my arm, twisted it round, and then pushed me head like that on the cardboard unit, hence this.
OK. Which police officer was that?
Ugly looking bird, about here. Dad, gingery, reddy, brown, and she wears too much makeup.
No.
Any special diet needs?
Yeah, I eat steak every meal.
Right. Did you hit her at any point?
No. Violence isn't my thing.
She said that you raised your right arm, drew it back slightly, and punched her in the left bicep. Can you remember doing that?
Well, I tell you what, I've read some fairy tales in all my life, but that takes the biscuit.
All right, Yvonne.
Okay.
She's fully wet herself now. It's all down the front of the pants. And she said it's gone into her own boots. So she's just sat there in a massive puddle of her own urine.
Right. Going to have words. What more can we do? Because we know that she's
Deliberately
doing it.
Can somebody help me, please?
Now, Yvonne, what's wrong?
It's not the first time Yvonne has wet herself in custody.
Well, why don't you get that wet stuff off? I've given you a boiler soap there to get into. You've got some new, clean clothes, basically, to get into. Yvonne, I know that you're not that disabled.
I don't know where you're getting it from.
I'm getting it from the medical professional who've looked after you before.
I'm in an electric wheelchair 24/7. I really do.
You are capable. You're capable of dressing yourself.
I can't even get over to the boiler thing.
Well, you got over before, didn't you?
You was placed by the bed?
Yes.
And you got to the door?
Yes, but this one meal, yeah?
You still was able to move, Yvonne? Because we've seen you.
You're going to have to help yourself.
The fact that she sat and urinated, people might say it's because of her condition, but I know that she can get herself on and off the toilet and she will use that to be more helpless. But it just seemed very harsh.
Sarah is making us some cappuccinos that the sergeant's brought in little packets.
Bloody hell. These are really frothy, aren't they? We've had a few problems with detainees, being quite demanding, so sometimes it doesn't matter. There might not be many people in, but it can cause a lot of problems.
The party goes on. This boozer's been bounced for stealing a handbag at a 21st birthday bash. Samantha McLean was grabbed by the boyfriend of the bag's owner.
Okay, Samantha, everybody that comes into custody has to go through a risk assessment so that whilst you're here we can look after you.
Yes.
Set questions that I ask everybody. Have you had any alcohol or drugs in the past 24 hours?
I've had alcohol.
What alcohol have you had?
A lot of drinks.
What, have you got any money?
We have, yes.
Yeah, I've got some money.
We've got 2 20s and 3 10s, but we're seizing those.
Why?
As evidence to either prove or disprove your innocence or guilt.
It's a load of shit.
Yeah,
I came
well,
out with that money. I got grabbed by my throat by some stranger.
OK, Sam, you are 18 years old or older and have been arrested for a trigger offence, namely theft.
Yes.
I, PC 123, I'm now going to ask you to provide a sample of saliva for testing in accordance with the Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984.
Yes.
The purpose of the test is to find out whether you have the evidence of the presence of crack cocaine or heroin in your body.
Yes.
If the result of the test is positive, you may be required to attend an initial and a follow-up assessment with a drugs worker and to remain for its duration.
Just do my spit test. I don't need a lawyer. I'm innocent and they're going to see that.
Samantha, I need you round here, please. Just take a seat on that grid here.
We drugs test everyone arrested for offences like theft because there's always a suspicion that they're stealing to fund a drug habit.
It's going to be quite a bright light. I just need you to swing round and look into camera for me.
I haven't stolen anything and I just got fucking...
Samantha, don't talk about the offence.
Okay, well, I don't take drugs, I don't steal. I've had a very good night tonight, apart from getting arrested.
Have you ever done a drugs test before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I give you that, if you put that in your mouth for me. I need your fingers in there for me.
Oh, I've got 2 babies at home. Honestly, just thinking about them now doing this shit makes me want to cry.
I don't cry.
I would never say you're befriending them, but building a rapport so that you're not fighting with them, I think, is fairly important. I mean, you don't want to be on the floor fighting with them to get their fingerprints, which we are legally allowed to do. It's much easier to have a bit of a laugh if they're willing to have a laugh and proceed from there.
When I find out that I am right and they are wrong, they're going to let me go.
So, Samantha, you've tested negative. Grab your shoes that you don't want to lose.
Yeah, please, I don't want to lose the shoes.
There are drunks who are nice people and there are drunks who are bad people. Some apologise, some can't remember, and some don't give a damn. I'm not convinced people can't remember what they've done. It is a good defence to having to explain away quite unacceptable behaviour when you maybe don't want to.
Samantha can't be interviewed until she's sobered up.
Do you want a cup of tea?
You don't have coffee, do you?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you have sugar?
Just one.
Okay.
At the minute, I feel like fucking shit. All I want to do is go to sleep, just wake up in the morning and go home to my family and my kids. I ain't done anything wrong and I've been locked.
It'll be a long night.
Sorry, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sean Patterson isn't drunk, but he did nick a bag of beer, and then didn't come quietly. It took 50,000 volts from a taser to get him this far. Now he fancies giving the cops a taste of their own medicine. came in on suspicion of burglary and criminal damage, but the charge sheet is growing by the minute.
He decided to try and kick one of the arresting officers. Got to say, one of the more pathetic attempts at assaulting one of my colleagues, and within the cell was his clothing being removed in order that it could be searched. And then coincidentally it's been seized because he was arrested at the scene of a burglary, so forensic transfers mean that the clothing itself is evidence of the offence.
Patterson is very well known to DC Rob O'Neill.
Sean's been getting in trouble for years now. He's only just come out of prison. He's been out 16 days. And there's been a spike already in that area, which is the area he offends. So crimes have gone up. His particular crime of choice has gone up since he's been out. And it was the same last time. And then when he got sentenced last time, crime went down, virtually stopped.
And what did he steal this time? All this aggro over a few cans of beer.
I've got a simple job for you.
Why I sent him. He's got away with a lady.
It's a lad called Patterson. Nasty piece of work. He's in for burglary within a dwelling, damage, assault, police and resist arrest.
It's up to the Crown Prosecution Service to decide what charges Patterson will face.
The lager is actually out of date and she bought it last year. And this is out of date and the box, the serial number matches with what's on the cans. The CPS lawyer that's picked it up is really positive, to be honest. But I think it should be good news and he'll be getting charged.
Okay, Patricia. Right, the CPS made a decision on what we're going to get charged with. All right.
And it's a long list, including criminal damage,
Without lawful excuse, damage offence of value unknown belonging to Robert Wright.
kicking his arresting officer,
Assaulted PC 2468 Stevens, a constable in the execution of his duty.
and nicking the beer.
Having entered as a trespasser part of a dwelling, namely a garage, stole therein food and beer of a value unknown.
Won't you just sign on there to say the charges have been read out to you? You're not going to be getting bail today. You're going to be kept in for court in the morning. All right?
Sorry, where's me, sorry?
If Patterson is convicted on all counts, it'll bring the total on his rap sheet to 126. Finally, peace returns to Priory Road. But not for long. Yvonne has managed to change into dry clothes, and she's managed to dismantle her wheelchair.
What are you doing with that?
I was buying to get some attention calls. I can't get to the...
Listen, you can get
I
some...
said I can't get up.
Listen, I think we've been more than reasonable with you.
I don't think so.
No, because I know that you've got enough power in your top half to pull yourself up.
I've never got enough power in my top half to put myself up. I've got to post in my right side.
You can actually walk as well, can't you?
No, I
For a
can't
limited
actually
player.
walk. No, I wish I could.
Let's see how you get on.
No.
Yes. You're being difficult for difficult's sake, aren't you? Please. Cyanide.
Yvonne insists she can't get out of the chair unaided, but the camera never lies.
She doesn't know she's in a camera, does she?
I don't know.
She wouldn't really like that. Not so quickly. I find it really upsetting to watch because it looks like we're not bothered to help her, but we are. And if you try and help, she will make it really hard for you to even manage to hold her, so she risks falling anyway. But no, I find it upsetting to watch.
At the end of the day, she's done what she said she can't do.
Is that her? I would think so. Everybody else is tucked up, aren't they?
Wish I was.
By sunrise, Samantha's lost her sparkle.
It was horrible, cold, noisy, you can't go to sleep, and then when you do go to sleep, you've got somebody opening your door, like to check see if you're still alive and that. I suppose it's the job, but yeah, it wasn't very nice.
She's still denying she's nicked a handbag.
I hope they do check the CCTV footage themselves, and then they might see it in me who did it. They might see the real person who took it.
But they are checking the CCTV. There's the pink bag. There's Samantha. And there goes the bag with Samantha.
They got a CD of CCTV, and I was on it doing something I shouldn't have been. I felt stupid. My face started burning. So I just... Camera never lies, does it? Spare of the moment decision I wish I hadn't made. And that's why I'm here. I'm a silly girl. I know what I was thinking. You know what they say? Don't go out.
It's in the bag. 12 months conditional discharge and £50 to the victim.
There you go, room service. Cheers. Well, you don't get this at home. Huh? All right.
It's not a very nice feeling to be waking up here. We came up here about 9, 10 o'clock last night, checked into the hotel, started pre-drinking at the hotel, and then literally just don't remember anything from 12 o'clock onwards. That'll be probably about the 2 or 3 bottles of champagne that I probably drank before I went out last night. In London, obviously, all the investment brokers or bankers, that's all we drink down there. I actually don't know why I was brought in here. Maybe for drunk and disorderly. I'm not exactly sure.
Mr. Gomez, do you want to come this way for me?
In fact, Ricardo was brought in for weeing in the street.
Just follow me around here.
But it may not be his only crime.
Have you had a drugs test done before?
Yes.
All right, so what you need to do is pull your mouth for me, get some saliva on it, don't chew it, just get some saliva on it. Thank you. All right, we're testing for cocaine, crack cocaine, or opiates, heroin.
So much of it is a blur. It's unbelievable. Knowing that I won't be pre-drinking like that ever again.
Did you use any cocaine at all?
When I was 18, probably tried it.
Right, why I say that is because it's come back positive.
Okay.
For cocaine.
As soon as I left the hotel, I could not remember even coming here.
You have a skinful?
You might want to put it that way, yeah.
But you can't remember what you did?
No.
What you got up to? All right. So what that basically means is you've got to see a drugs worker while you're here. All right? As long as you agree to seeing the drugs worker while you're here, no further action on it. It's like half an hour.
Yeah.
All right.
but the hangover is about to get a whole lot worse.
Hello there, we've arrested someone that you guys have got wanted.
Ricardo is wanted by police down south for fraud. They'd like to talk to him about some dodgy share dealing.
Right, you're wanted by St Albans, you're aware of that, aren't you?
No.
Well, you are.
Okay.
Okay. They're travelling up to see you. Okay, they're at this present moment in time.
Right.
Sorted.
It's been a bad trip up north for Ricardo.
It's just relating to an offence back in 2010, which kind of came back to bite me in the butt 2 years later. Guess why they call it karma. What goes around comes around.
Yvonne, the ASBO breaker, was found guilty of breaching her order and was jailed for almost 6 months.
Hey, you.
Kerry Taylor, the victim of a domestic attack, is now a convicted attacker.
I bet you're married, aren't you? Do you know I know? How? Because you iron your shirts like no one I know.
That might be because he just has standards, Kerry. Do you want to command him, my love?
She was fined £210 for assaulting the police officer who had come to her rescue.
See you later, Kerry.
See you soon.
Her partner, Peter, received a caution for his attack on her. High flyer Ricardo was fined £80 for urinating in public, had his drugs took, and was collected by police from St Albans.
He still lives with us in Hertfordshire, so we're actually going to take him back to save for the inconvenience of leaving him here stranded in Hull. And then you could have one less person in custody.
The good news for him, he got a free lift home and was later cleared of all fraud charges. The beer burglar who kicked off got 6 months for his troubles. Convictions for assault, criminal damage and burglary did indeed bring his grand total to 126.
More than our fair share of argumentatives today, so yes, it's nice to finish.
And the man whose seizure closed the lockup denied a charge of threatening to kill. The case was closed and the matter left on file.
I'll be back for more tomorrow, and I'll expect more drunks and more domestics. My theory's always been expect the worst, and then if there's anything different, it's a bonus, isn't it?
Dead of night, all is calm at Humberside Police Headquarters.
It's oh so quiet.
But not for long.
Oh so squishy now.
Something menacing and sharp-toothed is on the way. It's an industrial chop saw. And they're unaware of the trouble that comes with it.
What do you need his taser for? Hang on, why does he need his taser? There's 3 there. I'm cuffed up behind the back. There's 1 there. I don't know how many behind you with him. Why does he need his taser in his hand? Michael Leslie, arrested for nothing.
Welcome to the lockup. On the banks of the Humber, Hull is one of the commercial and retail capitals of northern England. But where there's money, there's crime, and more than 3/4 of Humberside businesses are affected every year, costing each of them £30,000. Whatever the trouble, it's Sergeant Peter Swan and his team who pick up the pieces at Priory Road Custody Suite, where we've been filming for a year.
Oh yeah, that's picking up that microphone that I'm wearing. If you have an argument with anything that happens, that's with me, not with anybody else.
Fucking hell! Look at me, I'm 5'10", and you can't put me down. He's got a taser.
He's going to use it on you if you are here.
The first customer of the night, accused of nicking that industrial saw from a business, has got real attitude.
Can't you answer that? Why does he need the taser?
Because you've been violent and he's going to use it on you if you are in here.
Hang on. Behave.
When arrested, Michael Cox was so angry, the police threatened to taser him with 50,000 volts.
Listen to you.
Yes, I am listening to me, and in a minute you will, and if you don't, I don't care, but here's what's happening. I'm authorising your detention here for burglary. We'll find out what you need.
You're talking over me.
I am, because I talk, you listen, I don't listen to you.
Type
Do
of
we
police
think this
state
guy
is this?
doesn't want to play?
Are we in Colombia? Talk
Well,
to
we've
me
been
properly.
through those questions.
Let's go through the questions then.
You will then speak to a nurse if necessary.
Question away.
But you don't make demands of us.
Question away.
We assess your needs.
Question
I'll
away.
leave you with this
You're
officer.
not important, you're nobody.
And do you understand?
Question away, and I will answer.
Good stuff. Over to you. You can only take so much of people shouting and cursing at you and your staff. I'm not having people coming in here and laying the law down like that.
But Mr. Cox has more questions than answers.
And is there any chance you could answer me? Why is that still stood behind me with a fucking taser? Is there any need?
Come on, Michael, let's go down to the sub.
Well, there ain't no need, is there?
Turn this way for us.
2,
Come on.
4.
He will stand there
5.
till I tell him to go away, and I haven't yet. That's why he stood there.
Oh, that's why you're a
Yeah, we all are.
You just kick your shoes up before you go in for me.
Well, I think he's claiming that he'd found stolen property and wanted to return it to its due owners via the police. Unfortunately, our staff found him and assumed he had stolen it. I'm assuming that as well. I think he's banged to rights and he's just upset with himself for being so stupid.
It's not something that you would be nipping and borrowing your neighbour or whatever. It's an industrial saw. It's not something that a general member of the public would have on them at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Don't with father, some with a fucking taser, innit?
I guess he doesn't like tasers.
It's an attempted theft that's brought the next man in, but he too thinks he's done nothing wrong.
Well then, mate.
All right.
You expected to be here tonight, did you?
No.
Okay, time of the arrest for me, please.
23:40.
Right, what we're doing is, mate, just have a word with these officers.
Stephen Coupland surprised a thief trying to break into one of his company vans with a crowbar.
And the brief circumstances for me, please.
Yeah, gentleman's disturbed a male breaking into his motor vehicle. Subsequently detained him, and during that detention had some sort of fight with him and allegedly assaulted him.
And the offence?
Section 18, wounding assault.
Any piercings? What do you mean?
Like nipple piercings?
Oh, no. I'm a bit old for that. No, I'm a bit old for that now.
Would like anybody informing that you're here?
Not as yet. We'll see how long I'm going to be here. I'll need to speak to my wife if I'm still here in the morning, which I don't want to be.
He may be smiling now, but he's unaware of the trouble he's in. His actions have put the other man in hospital.
It has got quite serious injuries, which obviously has got to be assessed by a doctor. There was a substantial amount of blood on the pavement. I mean, it is a serious assault. The indication from the paramedics is that he may have some fractures, and the guy was sat down with blood coming from an open wound to his head.
You ever tried to self-harm before?
Pardon?
Ever tried to self-harm?
No.
You experienced any mental health problems or depression?
Only that I pay a lot of tax.
That's getting you down.
That's a good, that one does.
Mr. Coupland insists he was simply defending his property.
Somebody was breaking in the van in one of our vans. It had been broken into last night and the night before, and he came back to do it again. He hit us a couple of times and I hit him back.
But the question is, did he go too far?
Has caught somebody breaking into his van car. He's trying to protect his livelihood. Yeah, because he needs that to do his business, etc. Obviously, he's overreacted because this guy ended up in Rummy Hospital. But the point is, this guy's had a crowbar and he's gone. It's with him, hasn't he? And he's defended himself.
The pertinent point is, you've said it, he's overreacted.
We don't know at this time, though, do we?
No, we don't.
Because we don't know the injuries.
Which is why we're investigating him for GBH.
I heard him, so I'd gone out. So I confronted him, and he swung round with this bar, and he hit me on the hand, but I took it off him and brayed him with it.
This man might be a citizen's hero. He may be a nasty piece of work who people fear, and we have no means of knowing one way or the other. So he's in here for an offence. It'll be investigated, and at the end of it, we might charge him, we might not.
If charged with GBH, Mr. Coupland could be sent down for a long time.
Would you like something to eat? I've got a lasagna, a shepherd's pie, or a vegetable chicken curry.
Chicken. Okay, no problem.
It's dinner time at Priory Road.
Sugar's in. Sorry.
Which gives Sergeant Swan a chance to wax lyrical on his pet subject.
I have a retired racing greyhound, and they're beautiful pets. And they're also badly abused sometimes, looking for really good homes. So it's really my attempt to bring it to people's attention that they're big beasts that don't need a lot of exercise. They sleep for most of the day. With a greyhound, you get what you expect, a fast-running, gentle beast.
You've just been on about 10 minutes about greyhounds there, haven't you?
Yeah, but 10 minutes of good value.
Jeez.
The man accused of stealing the industrial saw is still complaining about the abrupt end to his bike ride.
Got 6 coppers there. Why do you need one with a taser? Totally over the top.
But he has calmed down enough to be processed.
Right, martial arts, boxing,
No.
karate, languages, any
No.
trades behind you?
No, check me underground.
CID are weighing up the evidence, and there's more than they bargained for.
That is huge. I don't know what I was expecting really, but I wasn't expecting that. So he's now got that. He's found that, he alleges. On you on a bike? You riding on a bike? He was seen riding a bike carrying this, and he said he was going to take it to the... He's found it and hand it into the police station. However, he was riding the opposite way from the police station anyway, so obviously we don't believe him.
Well, they wouldn't, would they? But Michael Cox claims he was just being a good Samaritan.
It was just outside of a mate's double glazing factory, so I thought I'd look after it till the morning. Ask my friend if it was out to do with him. If not, then obviously inform the police. But unfortunately, I was lifted on the way home with it.
Take a seat, Michael. You're going to get a good follow right out.
I've done now, so I've got nothing to worry about. Waste of equipment, waste of resources, and a waste of my time. But there you go. As I say, I'll be released without charge.
But following a search of his house, they found this, and this, and this. So DC Bradley is convinced it's an open and shut case.
So that'll be straight out of some premise somewhere, that.
There's CCTV footage from the scene.
You can see 2 males here acting as lookout outside the compound, and the lad we got in custody is wearing similar clothing. He's wearing lighter trousers. He's got a darker jacket on, so he's got some kind of baseball cap, and that's the clothing that our man's wearing.
And if that isn't enough, there may also be forensic evidence.
We found out that there's footwear marks which have been left at the scene. See if it is the same pair of trainers which have made that mark.
So things aren't looking too good for Mr. Cox, but he is still claiming the police have got it wrong. And when it comes to the law, he seems to know what he's talking about.
I have no intention of permanently depriving anybody. You need intention to permanently deprive, and I have no intention of such a thing.
So this might not be such an open and shut case after all. The next customer through the door isn't so coherent. He's talking but making no sense.
Don't
sit down. Don't sit down. Get up. Settle down. Don't sit down. It was Nick Robinson, BBC Three.
Nicholas Robinson has been drinking all day.
My name is Nick Robinson, and I'm on as fuck. I've got all coppers and bastards. Told, I think he's telling my fucking lip. You that bastard. Sit down. What this is Aston Villa for life. Enough. I'll knock you out as well. What, where you think ranks are an ankle? Fuck you.
1 in 3 detainees are under the influence of booze or drugs.
Get off my fucking wrist.
Take him back to herself.
Yeah.
This one's so aggressive he can't be dealt with until he's sobered up.
What's your name?
It's just standard procedure, just getting them in the cells, just make sure it's safe for their benefit, really. It looks a bit oppressive, but it's not. It's merely keeping it so they're safe and don't injure themselves.
Drink makes people behave like violent oafs on occasions. And that's why we leave them as long as we can to sober up, because they're different people when they're sober to when they're drunk.
At one point, he just lashed out and slapped his mate across the face. He then started throwing punches round and about in the pub.
All right. Good lad.
What's he known to you? I think he's got a major issue with alcohol, that's the main thing.
He's been drinking all day, hasn't he?
Obviously not drunk enough.
No.
It looks like booze is also the cause of this young lad's problems. He's 17 and so out of it he doesn't know where he is.
Offence, please.
Criminal damage.
His parents called the police after he chucked a wheelbarrow into a neighbour's garden. He's one of 250,000 youngsters who find themselves in the UK's lockups every year.
Take some deep breaths and get myself down. We got to the address, the lad who went out the back door and was jumping over fences. We followed him over the fences and detained him. He was calm at first, and then he started getting a bit agitated. Started trying to run away and kick off and lash out at us. So we put fast straps on his upper body, his knees and his ankles just to calm him down.
It's his first time in custody. He's covered in scratches from the chase, but so spaced out he can barely sign his name.
You're not very good to stay, are you? Sign on there, just for your belt, mate.
Sit yourself down, go on.
So just how drunk is he?
Nice deep breath and blow. Go on, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Well done. Smashing. So we need. A lot of effort there. In through your nose, out through your mouth.
The breathalyzer reveals it's not drink that's to blame.
Right, what else have you taken? Why? Because it's important that I know. You've had more than Stella.
They're worried he may be hiding something.
He might not have slept for a week, and he's now not under the influence of any drugs anymore, and just completely knackered.
Not knowing the cause means the risks increased. So he's placed on regular watch. Arrested for attacking a man trying to break into his van, Stephen Coupland's been in the cells overnight and is now a little frustrated.
They told me I would be out very early this morning and it hasn't materialised. They must be seeking more evidence or whatever.
Dead right. The investigation is gathering pace.
Scenes of crime, Mike Ashford.
Hull's answer to CSI is on the case.
I found some, what looks like blood on the wall. There could be traces of blood still in the crack where it's gone down, so I've taken some swabs just to see if I can gather some of that evidence. It may be lost, it may be not. I found 2 bits of plastic on the floor that could be off clothing, off a buckle or something, I'm not sure. And there's also a cigarette end near the gate which I'll have for DNA as well. The van's soaking wet, so I've arranged for it to be recovered. If he had had fingerprints around the lock where he's tried to get into it, it will need recovering to be dried out for a later fingerprint exam. It's got extensive, well, quite bad damage to both front door handles. Aluminium chrome shroud around the sliding door has all been bent back as well. Okie doke.
Well, I hope you'll see to me within a couple of hours, because I've got staff in mourning to get to jobs, and they won't understand what's happened.
Coupland's interview will be crucial, but before it can happen, his solicitor needs to be fully briefed. DC Kirsta Wood is the investigating officer.
Right, I've prepared a disclosure document for you if you want to have a read through, and I'll answer any questions I can for you, if you would.
How is the alleged victim?
We've just received a telephone call from the sergeant to say that he will be going into surgery, but we don't know exactly what the nature of that injury is. We believe it's to his ear and to his hand.
But we're still talking about wounding
Yes.
allegation. The reason for his arrest for wounding.
The nature of the injuries would suggest more of a wounding than an ABH.
Okay.
Offences of wounding are much more serious. One of the worst is GBH, for which Mr. Coupland could get life.
If I hadn't hit him, he would have been me. He has instigated the matter with swinging for me with this bar. I'll have to wait for the outcome, won't I? I hope to get off with a caution.
It would appear from what he's already said to officers at the time of his arrest that he's claiming self-defence and reasonable defence of his property. So it's a matter for us to get that account from him and put that against what a reasonable person in the street would believe is reasonable force. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Mr. Coupland.
All right.
Hi there. Yeah, I'm Robin Smith. I'm a solicitor. I'm afraid that's as far as I can go in your presence.
Understandably.
It's a very serious offence. He could go to prison, so it's very serious.
The 17-year-old wheelbarrow thrower is starting to cause real concern.
Lee, wake up for me, mate. Wake up for me, mate. Come on, buddy, wake up for me. Sit up. Come on. Wake up. Wake up. Come on. What have you had? What have you had? What have you taken?
With the lad so difficult to rouse, the nurse is called.
Come on, mate, see if you can stand up. Come on. Come on, stand up for me. Stand up. Have you been on drugs or something? Eh? Come on, stand up. I've been in there and he's very, very hard to rouse and wake up. Come on then, buddy, this way. Come on. We don't know what he's taken. He hasn't had much alcohol in his system, but it's pointing that he could have taken some type of drug. I'm gonna sit down on this grey chair for me. The nurse is gonna have a word here, find out what's going on.
Right. So what have you had?
I don't know.
Well, you must know.
No.
What's making you like this, then? Pardon? Were you normally like this?
No.
Right, look at me. Look at my finger. His general condition gives cause for concern in that his pupils are unequal. His clinical observations are quite down on what they should be for a 17-year-old. He denies any drug use, so I'm going to send him to Hull Royal with a view for them to reassess for head injury and any intoxicating substance that he hasn't admitted to.
We are going to send him to hospital for observations, really, so that if his blood pressure continues to go down, obviously there comes a point where your body can't function and it's
a critical incident then in terms of health. So hopefully they'll detain him so that if that happens, he's in the best place to be dealt with when it does. So you're 14. Were you born in Hull?
Yeah.
Have you been arrested before?
Yeah.
At 14, this lad's even younger than the wheelbarrow thrower. So young, he's brought his mum with him. But it's not drink or drugs, just messing about that's got him banged up.
Time of arrest?
0920.
And the circumstances?
Circumstances, there's two separate incidents. One, he's been seen to ride a mini motor near to his home address, causing harassment and alarm of distress. And then the second one is he was on top of the Long Hill Link-Up Trust on Shannon Road on the roof, again causing distress to the people working there.
This is not what people say.
Yeah. Obviously the grounds for my arrest though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
As well as riding his mini moto, the lad's been seen shouting and swearing from a rooftop. And with that sort of behaviour, like most juveniles with ASBOs, he's broken the rules.
Would we out before quarter-past 3?
I would think so. Just hang on to that because you'll need to wear it when you go into the cell, OK?
This young hoodie could be trouble in the making.
We've known Mark since the age of about 10 or even before. We've just had a long conversation with him in the car on the way here. Hopefully it gets through. It does get through to some people, but others go the other way and lead the life of crime.
How many times have you been in here now?
No, don't count.
About?
Couple more times than you.
You have to give you the clocking on card, don't you? Do you get sick of coming in here?
It's alright.
Yeah, because you get treated so good, don't you? Should be on bread and water.
Like all over the place.
You'd describe him if you lived in the area as a bloody nuisance, really, but nothing more. He's causing occupants and residents in the area quite a lot of annoyance, so we've stepped in to try and stop that.
By imposing an antisocial behaviour order, which means he can be arrested every time he steps out of line.
Do you want to stay for his photograph or not?
He's so comfortable at Priory Road, he's happy for his mum to go outside for a fag.
He's been through the system before and he was a cheeky chappy. So it was just a case of, he knows the system, he knows how we work in here. Look into the bad box, here we go.
Don't look at me.
He's just doing kids stuff really, driving on fields with motorbikes and that type of thing, which obviously is still breaking the law, but he wasn't what I would call a bad lad. Come on then, lad.
And that can be an issue with ASBOs. Once you've got one, you can be pulled in for relatively minor things. All it takes is for someone to complain.
I got arrested a couple of weeks ago for... They thought I was smashing a sign up outside the shop, but even the shop owner said it wasn't me, it was just the kid saying it was me.
An ASBO can be a sledgehammer to crack a nut, where you have children engaged in activities that children just engage in, and we can criminalise a whole section of society in the years ahead. The law is an effective tool if used properly, but I think we often use them incorrectly.
Most of my mates even said they would rather be in prison than be on an ASBO. Because you're getting locked, you get locked up nearly every day for things you haven't done and for things you have done, like really silly things. Like, just for swearing at someone.
For now, he'll have to await his fate. Stephen Coupland's given his side of the story and has been told the man he assaulted needed surgery. He's finally beginning to understand the gravity of his situation.
This is a hard-working family man, impeccable character. Over the previous 3 nights or 2 nights, he's had Attempts have been made to steal his van or steal items from his van. This is the third consecutive night, and on this occasion, he effectively has caught somebody red-handed. You can only feel sorry for him, but he gave a good account of himself in interview, and hopefully police will come to the right decision.
They believe I've gone too far. I've gone further than self-defence.
Do you agree with that?
No, I don't, because if I hadn't have done that, he would have done the same to me.
And he is Matthew Higgins.
Matthew, I'm just going to book you in.
Just released from hospital and in big trouble for taking a crowbar to Stephen Coupland's van.
I had to get back to him, trying to obviously break into his van, and then he hit me from behind. If I'd have seen him coming, I'd have run. You know what I mean? But I didn't even see him coming. And when I went down onto my knees, he carried on beating me over the head with a steel bar. Put my hand up to stop, to like deflect it, and that's when he shattered my hand, yeah? There's also a separate my ear. My ear was hanging on by that much, yeah?
But where does the truth lie? With 36 convictions, including wounding and possession of a prohibited weapon, Mr. Higgins has a lot to lose.
When the police turned up on the scene, they found me sat on the floor with my head between my hands, with my ear hanging off, yeah? Blood gushing everywhere out of my head, yeah? And my hand totally smashed in. I'm black and blue from legs upwards, yeah? And this is the bloke who reckons that I attacked him. Yeah, he hasn't got a mark on his body. He's got a scratch that big. He couldn't have even got from shaving.
Was you a bit of an handful when you came in last night?
It's amazing what a night in the cells can do. The stroppy drunkard Nicholas Robinson is a new man.
I've been arrested 3 times this year, and it's all alcohol related. I was definitely drinking yesterday. I was with my girlfriend in Hotpole. That's pretty much all I can remember. I know I must have been it because my ear's swollen and the side of my head. If it was fighting, I looked like I lost the fight, to be honest, with the size of my ear and my head, so I don't think I could have done anything really bad.
I get drunk, I don't get violent, I go to sleep. The drink withdraws people's inhibitions, and how you stop people doing that, if it wasn't the drink, it would probably be something else.
Rich, if you just blow into that, I'll hold it, mate. You just blow into it, and I'll tell you when to stop. Keep going. Lovely, thank you. It's still going up.
Does it just say pissed?
It says very drunk.
Does it?
No, it's 76.
That's why I don't drive.
77, so he's still quite under the influence, mate. So I won't be able to interview you just yet.
What time did you get arrested, do you know?
No, I had been arrested. I got woke up by that lovely copper this morning. I wanted to give me a cuddle.
9:30, so you must have had a hell of a drink last night.
Reckon?
Yeah.
You lose about 10 units an hour.
You alcohol dependent?
The drive is 35 units.
And I've been here, what?
You're at 77 and you've been in for 12 hours.
That means he was 6 times over the limit when he was arrested.
Are you alcohol dependent? Do you drink every day?
I do drink every day, yeah.
You do? How long have you been alcohol dependent?
A couple of years, 2, 3 years.
Are you ever trying to have any help for that?
Yeah, I'm registered with a company called Aquarius because I live in Birmingham, you see, money back, it's my birthday. I've got counsellors and things like that.
So what they do is try and wean you off it gradually then?
A little bit. They got the worst advice ever. They're like, oh, we wouldn't recommend you stop drinking just yet because you'll start having fits and stuff. And
you can't, that's the worst thing you can do, you know.
I'll keep drinking then.
Yeah, but alcohol's different, you know, to drugs. Drugs, you can come off it straight away and you'll go through cold turkey.
Yeah.
But with alcohol, if you do that, your organs can shut down.
Yeah.
So they've got to wean you off it very, very gradual.
So he's fallen off the wagon again, and he's still only 22. But he's not your usual drunk.
I'm a successful young man. I'm the regional manager of my marketing company. Alcohol's none of everyone bit. In fact, sometimes when I'm sat there drinking, I have my best ideas. Well, the only thing that's dragging me back is the alcohol, but it's not really dragging me far.
Is there anything else that I need to be aware of?
Yes, I'd like an ensuite in my cell, if that's possible.
You're unlucky, mate, because the one with the Xbox and everything else, and it's been spoken for.
Oh, is it? You're joking.
So you're unlucky on that one. Can you give me a signature on the pad for me then, please?
Time for another cuppa, and Sergeant Swan is still barking on about his pet subject.
So for Pete's sake, adopt a greyhound, and back home we've got another dish that says, for Rocky's sake, policemen need good homes. Retired policemen need good homes. That's the one, isn't it?
The 17-year-old wheelbarrow thrower who was near to collapse is back in the lockup.
You're moving a bit better. You spoke your beans, have you? No, let's just move this one off here. I'll tell you what, let's clean you up a little bit.
The hospital discharged him because they decided he was under the influence of drugs and needed time to sleep it off.
Just a little bit concerned about you, that's all, because you generally, after a little while, drowsiness and things like that starts to fall off, doesn't it? Well, it's not fall off at the minute.
But the police aren't so sure. He may have banged his head running away from the arresting officers.
Ah, dear. Are you okay down there, fella? There's a doctor with you, and I'm the police. Do you understand? We have somebody who isn't getting any better, and we don't know why. His consciousness is about zero, and he's incapable of sitting up and supporting himself, and quite incapable of standing. And he also has slight bruising behind his ear. So there is a chance that it isn't actually any drug that's causing this. He may possibly have head injuries. So the doctor now is suggesting that they maybe do a CT scan because you wouldn't expect somebody to still be under the influence of drugs.
Here's the ambulance service, please. I'm calling from Primary Police Station, the custody suite.
With the possibility of a head injury, they're taking no risks. 2 hours after being discharged, he's going back to hospital.
We're not doctors, so this just isn't the right place to have anybody where you're not at all certain as to what the symptoms are.
But this isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card. He'll still have to answer for criminal damage, but only once he's recovered. The Crown Prosecution Service has decided Mr. Coupland does have a case to answer for using excessive force.
The charge is Section 18, grievous bodily harm with intent. Unlawfully and maliciously cause grievous bodily harm to Matthew Simeon Higgins with intent to do him grievous bodily harm contrary to Section 18 of the Offences Against the Person Act 1861. Do you have any reply to that charge?
Not guilty. But I didn't think I would be charged, actually. I didn't. And you didn't really, did you?
All I could say to you is that it's entirely up to the CPS. They're presented with the evidence and they make a decision based on that, and it could have gone either way, really.
I think it came as a bit of a shock to him. I'm sure he was expecting a bit of a slap on the wrist to telling off. If that, GBH with intent, one down from murder, really. The only element missing is that he didn't kill somebody.
I think it's a natural reaction. Obviously, you see somebody breaking into your property and your belongings, you're going to confront that person because nobody likes to have items taken away from them.
That's the rule of the jungle, isn't it? If we allow that, somebody attacks your property, you do what you like, you seek your vengeance. That's vigilantism.
I'm hopeful I will win, and that is it. My peers will put us right, won't they?
The 12 men on the 12 good men
on the jury. Yeah. See ya. Bye.
When Nicholas Robinson eventually sobered up enough to be dealt with, he was charged on 2 counts of common assault.
Would you like to make any reply to those charges? You don't have to.
He pleaded guilty and was given a 12-month conditional discharge.
OK, Mark, I'm going to charge you with the breach of ASBO.
The 14-year-old boy admitted breaching his ASBO and got a 12-month youth rehabilitation order.
Come on then, your taxi's waiting.
I'd have to be a bit naive to say I don't expect to see him back again because he's been through the custody system several times quite recently. But, you know, you can't write a 14-year-old child off at this stage, can you, really?
Look at me, look at my finger. So what have you had?
I don't know.
Well, you must know.
No.
The police never got to the bottom of what was wrong with the wheelbarrow thrower. But he did recover, admitted criminal damage, and was dealt with by the Youth Justice Service.
Michael Leslie, arrested for nothing.
Mr. Cox was right. The evidence didn't stack up and he was set free.
There was never been any doubt that I'd be released without charge. All this has done is cost me work because, as you saw, they took all my tools and no tools, no work. But that's the police for you. They're the one-track man. If they're sure you've done something, they'll get the teeth into you and they won't let go.
The case against Mr. Coupland was also dropped.
It's got extensive, well, quite bad damage to both front door handles.
The man who tried to break into his van refused to give evidence. Matthew Higgins was convicted of attempted theft and going equipped. He got a 3-month suspended prison sentence and had to pay Mr. Coupland £420 compensation.
It was the right outcome. You should be able to protect your own gear, what I've worked for. What I was charged with, there was no way I went out intentionally to inflict the punishment that he got. He started it. He was the one with the crowbar. He got what he deserved.
Sergeant Swan's shift is over, but like all good coppers, he's never off duty. Even the dog's worried.
When he misbehaves, I just like to show him the other side so that he knows what's in store if he does it anymore, you see. So you learn your lesson, dog. Yes. Right, home time.
Next time, the lockup becomes a kindergarten.
How old are you? 15.
Every year, 2,000 kids are banged up in Humberside.
Right, a solicitor and a lawyer is basically someone who will come here to the police station and help you with the legal side of things, you know, all the law and stuff like that.
And many of the adult guests are just big children.
Look at this. Look that way. Don't look like you're going to spit at me.
Look at this.
Calm yourself down.
What are you doing?
Calm yourself down.
You're only taking the time.
But the lockup is certainly no fit place for kids of any size. The custody suite are receiving one of their youngest and shortest guests.
You been in custody before? No. Right, what's going to happen, I'm going to word with this officer, find out why you're here. I've got to ask you lots of questions. All right, just answer them best you can, OK? Do you know what a lawyer is?
No.
Right, a solicitor and a lawyer is basically someone who will come here to the police station and help you with the legal side of things, you know, all the law and stuff like that. Do you know how tall you are?
No.
No, you stand them up against the ruler when you get a second.
Why would you stand across this?
4'7".
The boy is 11 years old, but arrested for theft, he's treated like any grown-up.
Young man, I'm going to authorise your detention here. Understand that? All right. As my colleague said, if there's anything you're unsure about, just ask him. We'll try and explain it in better terms. All right.
How long will you in here for?
Until it all gets sorted, I'm afraid.
Welcome to the lockup. This is Hull, home to 250,000 people and Humberside Police. At police headquarters, the custody suite looks after 6,000 people every year. And amongst them are 600 children.
And your date of birth?
12, right now.
How old does that make you then?
12.
The man in charge, Sergeant Rich West, knows the lockup is frightening, whatever your age.
My 8-year-old's bigger than that lad that we've got in J1. Just think if she was in here. It's scary.
Brief circumstances, please.
This young man has been seen to be on the lower roof of the old New York building, removing items of metal and lead, and he's been arrested.
All right, can you give me a signature? Do you know what your signature is?
No.
Basically, if you can write your name, just to say that you've answered my questions, OK?
Just write my name.
Just write your name in that box. So what's going to happen now? You go down, sit in a cell. The officer will show you where the button is if you need any help. OK? And I'll sort out what's happening going on.
Pick your boots up. Hold me.
11 years old. First time in.
He looks very worried, that one, doesn't he?
I think he was getting a little bit teary there when we was cutting the cords out of his pants when he was getting.
OK, let's bring the next one in.
The boy was caught with an older mate who knows the routine.
All right, come stand here. You've been in custody before?
Tommy was in for a week.
Together they were found on a roof, suspected of stealing lead. And that's not all they were up to.
Just to go in the bin. Too young to have them, aren't you? That rubbish in your lungs.
And your date of birth?
He's 14 years old.
Do you know how tall you are? But we better check to see if you haven't grown.
Go up to that ruler, put your back to it.
Was 4'8", what are we now? 5'1", shot up.
I won't be growing anymore if you keep using those cigarettes.
Cannabis. You just think of when when you were a child yourself, and I was still riding bikes by then, when I was 14. So to arrest somebody who's 10, 11, 12, you just think what's the future hold for them when they're starting out that young.
Do you know what sister is? Yeah? Do you want one this time or do you not? You're all right.
In the lockup, there's a juvenile wing where the boys will be kept in separate cells.
Just grab your jacket and your shoes.
Your blanket.
It shocks me in a way, the fact that they're that small. It makes you have the awe factor thinking, oh, when they're that young, and you see them walking down the custody block. But we don't get many in, so we don't see a lot of kids that age, thankfully.
Thankfully indeed, because this is definitely no place for kids.
Offences. Section 5, public order. For what? Hostile routine patrol. Came across this gentleman with his penis out, urinating in full view of oncoming traffic and members of the public.
Not living up to his name is Ricky Love.
Got out to speak to him, and before we could do checks, etc., the male's behaviour became very aggressive.
And you was going to bat me. You was going to bat me.
Made various threats to bite our nose off, etc., etc.
Alright. You're a fucking dog, aren't you?
We approached him, straight away began being verbally abusive and aggressive. We put the cuffs on him, he then became even more aggressive, started struggling with us, he was trying to spit at my colleague in the back of the car. Then it developed from there to where he was threatening to bite our noses off.
Yeah.
I'm going to advise you right now, right at that moment, none of that hit me. You better make sure that nothing like that ever happens again.
Because I'm not like you, I'm not like you.
Turn around. Listen.
Spitting is an officer's nightmare because of the risk of infection.
But I want you a pie.
Look
at this.
Look that way. Don't look like you're going to spit at me.
Look at this. Look at
Calm yourself down.
What are you doing?
Calm yourself down.
You're only taking the trains. All right, look at you. Look at you.
Chill out now.
I'm not struggling. You're taking the trains off. There you go, look. There you go. I am struggling. What are you doing? My fucking arms.
Calm yourself down then.
I'm not, I'm calm.
I'm going to relax.
Don't make any silly spitting faces
more
or
cords.
noises. All right. And there you are.
Do yourself out. Put your hands up there. Put your hands up there.
Ricky. Is it Ricky or Richard?
Right, put your hands on there. Keep them on there.
There you go.
Any middle names,
there.
Ricky? Ricky, you're 27, yeah? Question.
Yeah, 27.
Do you class yourself as white and British? Yeah. Do you know how tall you are?
All right.
N6.
Two more kids have been arrested, this time on their way to school.
Two juvie females come in for shop theft from St Stephen's.
And one of them has kicked off.
Let's have a look. One's attacking security.
Matt, one up, please.
Yeah, they've spoken to them, the officers, and they've calmed down. The two sisters.
It's the younger sister's first time in custody.
And the brief circumstances, please?
Police were called to by security staff reporting that two females had been attacking them after being detained for shop theft. When we attended, the two females initially refused to give us details, so in order to identify them, we've had to arrest them.
So the issues of the shop theft?
She's been seen to conceal a bandage. Can we take your hair grips out and I need your hair bobble out as well?
Oh, no, my head next.
Oh no, but I need it. So you're just gonna have to go for the wild look.
I know how you feel, to be honest. I struggle with my fringe.
Yeah, no, because I haven't got a lot.
Fall out, you know. Right, I'm going to do a risk assessment, so don't be offended by any of these questions. Ask everybody the same questions when they come in, all right? Have you had any alcohol, drugs, or anything like that in the last 24 hours? Solvents? You're not going in trouble?
Not drugs.
No, have you had any alcohol?
Maybe a bit of wine or whatever it was last night.
Bit of wine, whatever.
How old are you?
15.
Wayne, can you just take the lady down to J1, please, mate?
J1.
Yeah, please.
Right, see you later. It is a really low value shop theft, but we couldn't ascertain their names or who they were. Once we got them separated, she's been a pleasure. It's just, I think, a bit of bravado in front of her sister who was like a wild animal. We ended up having to struggle with her a little bit to get her in handcuffs. So, yeah.
The oldest sister is 16.
You all right? Obviously been crying. Yeah? You all right? And the offence, please?
She's assaulted the security guard by scratching his hands and kicking him several times in his shins.
Right, do you want to just start taking all your jewellery and everything off for me?
That's it with tomorrow as well.
Eh?
That's it with tomorrow as well.
Yeah, everything.
In the back of the van, she didn't have this blood. She's indicated that she's been chewing inside her lips and all the rest of it, so he's going to have to come out.
No, I did that, that's what I did with it.
He's going to have to come out.
He's going to have to
All right.
come out. She's calm now. She wasn't initially when we informed her that she was under arrest. She just exploded. But luckily, I've got a muscly colleague who came to my assistance.
And the cause of all this trouble?
What are the marks on your arm?
Burns.
Burns. What do you have?
Salt and ice.
Salt and ice?
Salt and ice is the latest schoolyard dare. The girls were nicking the bandage to treat this self-inflicted frostbite.
You put salt around the ice on it. It burns you.
Why would you do that?
Don't know.
Just to see if it did.
It's difficult for us because we need to get past the custody side. When you're bringing in a child, 15, 16 years old, who are completely compliant, they'll be wondering why on earth you brought them to the custody suite when we could deal with them by means of triage, reprimand, caution, whatever. But we have to stress, at scene, we're absolutely wild, weren't we?
Yeah, it was like Jekyll and Hyde, you know. We had her up against the wall, didn't we, struggling to restrain her. She was just like a wild animal.
Are you at work this morning?
Time to call the girl's dad.
Yeah, I've been arrested for suspicion of shop theft in town centre. Would you be available, sort of as and when we need you to come down? Oh, you're heading. You're quite welcome to do that. I don't know how long you might have to wait at the front desk, but you certainly can come down and you can have a chat with them at any point if you want to. Right, cheers now. Thanks.
Right,
bye.
Inhale. Yeah. Right, then. Just need to take your shoes off. Hold me notes. That's your mattress. I know you're not, but you can. It's better to sit on there than this hard thing, isn't it? All right. If you need us, press this buzzer for anything like toilet or whatever you need to reach well. Just press that buzzer and we'll come down to you. All right. Sure. Well, the officers are going to go and get statements from the security staff, and then as soon as your dad gets here, we'll get to interview you.
All right. When it's juveniles, there's two schools of thought. One, you can be real nasty to them to make sure they don't want to come back, or you can be nice to them. I think, having two girls myself, I think I take the nice approach to them, to make sure that, one, they're not going to do anything silly to themselves. The fact that they're going to cell, that's a bit of a shell shock for them anyway. So, yeah, they've calmed down. They'll be here for a few hours. They'll think about what they've done, and then they'll get dealt with. Who's buzzing? What number?
The 11-year-old boy wants some attention.
You all right? You sure? Is this your first time in custody? What do you think of it? Boring, isn't it? No tellies or PlayStations in here, isn't he? Once your dad gets here, what's he going to say? Kick your butt. Do you want a drink or anything? A cup of tea? You want sugar in it? Two. You understand what's happening to you? Keep the water in case you want it later on. Don't you fall off that bench, you're not the biggest of lads, are you? Sometimes they come in and they're really like, yes, I'm in again, and they try and think the big I am, and it's a bit of a hardo for them, really. Tell their mates that they're in custody. But these two, they do look a bit scared, but you want them to have a bit of a fear factor to try and put them off coming again.
And I've just told Trappers.
Now the older boy wants some attention too.
Hey, what did you say? Is that what you've rung the buzzer for me to say you come?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to switch you off if you keep buzzing for no reason. It could just stay there until you do meals, alright? Do you know what you rung the buzzer for, Sarge? I've finished.
Oh, bless. Probably lonely and wants to talk to people. My 8-year-old's bigger than that lad that we've got in J1. Scary. Just think if she was in here.
How old are you, Rich? You must be cracking on a bit.
29.
What, again? You've been stuck on 29 for about the last 15 years, have you?
It's going to be a long night if you say I'm over 40.
Or is it the snow on the roof that makes you look older?
The Queens have now got 6s, so...
Next, please.
Right. Afternoon. Evening. You've been in custody before?
Years and years ago.
Right. Well, what I'm going to do...
John Farrow has just ploughed into a parked car, but why he lost control is a mystery.
And the circumstances, please.
We had a report that a male had been seen driving in erratically and crashing into another vehicle.
You know more than me.
Witness spoke to him. He appeared to be under the influence of some sort of substance.
Excuse me.
How are you feeling at the moment?
Different.
Different. Have you consumed any alcohol or drugs in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, I don't think I've had any drugs.
You've had no drugs? Right. How much alcohol you had, roughly?
That's what I'm on about. Last night... No, I've had about less than a bottle of wine last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
Right, what about today? Have you had anything today?
I had nothing today.
Right, and you've had no drugs in the last 24 hours?
No.
Well, something's making you slur a bit.
I've had a wacky-backy.
You've had a wacky-backy? When did you have your smoke then? When was it?
Well, you're up this morning.
Right. Do you use drugs every day? Do you use wacky-backy every day?
No. If I had the chance, I would, but I don't.
Right then, I'm going to authorise your detention at the police station so we can secure and preserve evidence into the offence that you've been arrested for. All right?
Have they done anything wrong yet, then?
Can't say at the moment.
Do you want a solicitor?
What for? I don't think it'll make no difference, will it?
Well, it's up to you. Yes or no?
I'll think about it now.
OK. Right, you want to come over here, then? When you came in, he was looking at me, but everything I was saying wasn't going in. It was as though he'd either taken drugs or drink.
On manner of experience, what would your thought be?
What's that?
On this?
What you're going to blow?
Yeah.
I've no idea. Right. Deep breath. Blow. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it. Done. Now what we do is we wait for the results.
Okay.
0.
So it's nothing in my system at all?
Yeah, whatever. If you've had some alcohol, it's out your system. Yeah, just...
Mr. Farrow now thinks he can go home.
All these coming off.
I'm all free.
He blew 0, so I think that's when he decided that that was his pass to leave.
John, just come here, John. John, just come here. The results are 0. Do you want to copy?
I don't want nothing, truthfully. I ain't done nothing wrong. You've just forced me into this, and I'm having enough.
When he was told that he would still be residing with us, he decided that he was going to take exception to that and get a little bit stroppy.
Right, what I'm saying is, do you want a copy of the...
I've run from police on all occasions, and I will do it.
This is down to our next step. We'll come down and
He's had something, so we can't just let him go, because if he gets back in a car, he could wipe somebody out and kill somebody this time, so then we've got, it's on our conscience, and we could have prevented that.
I've never been in farm. I don't like it. I think it's scary. It makes me real angry. Just being blocked in a room on your own. That's what scared me.
The girl's dad has arrived in reception and he's not happy.
I mean, the way they're treating them kids, to me, it's a serious criminals, and they're not. They've done one mistake. It's the first time they've ever been done up like this.
I'm just going to go and speak to the dad of the sisters that have come in. There's some question about his suitability for appropriate adult.
When kids are in custody, they need an appropriate adult to represent them. Normally, that's a parent, but not always.
I'm Sergeant West, I'm the custody sergeant at the moment. I understand that there's some issue regards fingerprints and photographs, you're not? Right. I appreciate you've been in custody yourself before, is that right? Right. So you know that there's, by law, we can take the fingerprints by force if need be?
Well, you're not getting them done.
Right. Why is that then?
Because I won't allow it.
Why? Just
the man is, I won't allow it.
But there's nothing in law that stops us from doing that.
There's nothing from walking out of here, then, is he?
You walk out by all means for me. What I can do then deem is that you're not appropriate to be an appropriate adult.
You're not keeping them in.
And then I can just get your offending team to do that on my behalf.
You're not keeping them in.
Okay, so are you happy for me to go and do the fingerprints and the DNA then?
Whatever.
Okay, so I'll go do that and I'll keep you updated once that's been done.
The Youth Justice Service looks after kids in custody when an appropriate adult can't be found.
Obviously, his concern is his children are in custody, which is understandable. Any parent whose children are in custody are normally quite apprehensive. But what we do try to ensure is that parents understand why the children are in custody in the process in regards to what's going to happen.
Are you going to cooperate during the interview as an appropriate? Well, I appreciate that, and I want these girls out of here because it's not a place for them, and I want them to be released as soon as we can. But I can't do that if I'm having little problems being chucked in the way, am I? If I think you're going to be obstructive, then I will just won't let you into custody suite.
Well, don't let me in there, that's what you want to do.
Okay. Right, if in that case, then I'm not going to let you act as appropriate adult. All right? And I'm going to let you offend your team to do that. You could tell straight away that he was being obstructive. It's an inconvenience for him, and for me, he's not going to have the kids' best interests at heart, so at least if Michelle from the offender goes in with them, she can be independent, she can act, she's used to it, she can act on their best interests.
Why don't you just come up?
Please.
The children are manners, so why should you have them photographed and fingerprinted? To me, they've never done all this in their life. To me, they treat them like criminals. They'll be cracking it in there.
So if you put your hand out, now your fingerprints, your photos and your DNA will be used to speculate search against any crimes. And if you ever watch like CSI or anything like that, where they throw it through a computer, match it, yeah, that's what we do. Lovely. And if you just want to step to us.
It may be the 15-year-old's first time in custody, but it's new to her dad being on the outside.
This way.
I've been in and out of these places all my life there and all. And I got put when I was 10-year-old. Was in care till I was 18. I was in and out of prison till I was 34. And then the day, can't bear him being in there, but me being in there.
I don't know, I think I'd go mad. Because like he's overprotective of me. He must have stopped my pocket money though. I usually like this. I usually go quiet and stay in. Shouldn't have done it in the first place. It's just still a mistake.
Ricky Love has slept off his anger at being caught peeing in the street and is now fit for processing. Ricky's a hard man with a long criminal history, but recently things have changed and he's beginning to see the value of family.
When was your last in, Ricky? A while ago,
I
was
was in
it?
for a robbery about a year ago.
Yep.
Didn't do it, I got no further action.
So you haven't been in for a while, yeah?
Been out of prison 2 years in August. I've been in and out, it's 10 years.
Getting fed up of it?
I have, I've had a son. No, just
How old is he?
He's 6 months, but he was 8 weeks premature. Yeah, but he's my world, you know.
Yeah.
And I've sorted my life out, and then I've done a stupid thing having a week. And then
It's the drink, demon drink, isn't it?
it just hurts me now. I'm in here not seeing him.
Well, hopefully you won't be here too long. All right, can you just stand in there, Ricky, just to say that you're Prince, please? Do you want a cup of tea or do you want water?
Cup of tea, please.
Cup of tea, do you have sugar?
2, please.
2 sugars, all right. Come on then, we'll take you back. You'll be all right, come on. Just treat it as a one-off. I'll get you your brew, all right?
I've been in and out of jail the last 11 years, in and out, you know, and this is where it's led me, but the most important thing in my life now is my son, and that has kept me out of prison for a year, nearly 2 years in August, and it's made me proud of myself. It's kept me off drugs.
He's sobering up a bit now. I think he's made us just been silly, urinating in the street. He wants to sort of get back to his son, so I think the sergeant's going to arrange to get him out of here as soon as he can.
So I'm bringing up 2 girls, what aren't my girls, to my girlfriend's girls, but they call me Dad. That means the world to me. That's what I want in my life for him. You know, it's always been up there, like you always say, I'm never going back. But you do end up going back. But I've got everything not to go back. And this is why I'm angry with myself for having a stupid wee.
Here you go, Ricky. I'm going to have a word with the sergeant about what's happening with you, all right? Because you've come off drink a bit, haven't you? Just watch that, because it's really hot. Yeah, so I'll come back and tell you what's going to happen.
A brew does wonders for everyone. Even the girl's dad is starting to see sense.
He's calmed down a hell of a lot now. He needed a cup of tea with some sugar in, so I'll give him that, which seemed to build bridges.
I'll let you know as soon as we know. All right.
I think he's appropriate now. A cup of tea, it can turn anybody around. Nice cup of tea.
Let's come through.
Absolutely.
Don't leave your hat off. I don't think you'll need it in there.
You've been doing something fucking at school, you.
Yeah, no one's here.
Never mind it, you know. Alright. What are you scared of?
Come this way with me.
Both girls will now have Dad in on their interviews.
We could look at the triage side of things. There has to be an admission. It can't be that they're denying it. Unfortunately, if there is a denial, it will go straight to court because there's no other process that we can do if they're not admitted to court.
Triage means they'll be released without further action. as long as they know what they did was wrong.
You've been arrested for shop theft for a £1.65 packet of bandages.
Yeah, we had £1.50 for...
I gave you money this morning.
And then, yeah, I know, but we had to get a bandage for...
I always give you money.
Yeah, I know.
You always ask me for money.
So you've gone into Tesco's with your sister, yeah?
Don't cry. I'm not showing at you.
Let me go get you some tissues.
I'm not showing. Just like your pennies, darling. Come here. I knew you'd be upset.
So were you on your way to school?
Yeah.
Is that why you were going? Okay. What was wrong with his arm? Why did she need a
She's
bandage?
like, do you know what people have done, like a sort of nice challenge?
Yes.
That she's done them, and like one of them started bleeding, so and it goes all down her arm.
So you knew that you were going to need a bandage, and you knew you didn't have enough money, and you knew that you were going to steal it. Is that what you're saying to me?
Well, we didn't know we were going to steal it until like we worked out how much we had left, because we thought we had enough out there, and when we got the entrance and that, but we didn't. And then like police came and started kicking off, and then they put her in handcuffs because she was like real stressy.
So you understand that taking something from a shop that's not yours is wrong without paying for it, okay? And this is the consequence of that. Even when you're doing it for the best of intentions, you're still stealing. And the daft thing is they've got a first aid point in St Stephen's, so if you'd have gone to one of the security guards, they're just giving her a bandage.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So let's get you in there.
I'm a bit annoyed with just over a bandage. I mean, I said I got her money this morning, and she'd never have pictured it. If I knew she was always that, I'd have got one myself.
She's all yours. Now it's the older sister's turn, and she's in bigger trouble. Also accused of assaulting the security guard.
If they'd have behaved at the scene, then they wouldn't be here. Like the security already said, we'd have dealt with it in-house, wouldn't have even got the police involved. So it's gone from a simple, low-value shop theft to a possible assault coming into custody, going through the system.
Stop shaking.
Tell me what happened.
We tried just getting out, and he pushed me against the wall, and I didn't make it, so I kicked off, and I started punching him, kicking him, and hitting him, and ramming him into the door. And then the police came.
You probably needed to take your details first, I would think, and that's maybe why they were asking you to stay a little bit longer.
Yeah, but there's no need pushing against the wall.
I understand that. I just need to talk to her about the allegation that's been made against her at the moment, okay?
Yeah, but sorry you're saying allegation against her. End of the day, he's done what he's done.
They're allowed to...
And that,
they're allowed
he's
to
not allowed
detain.
to do it to a minor.
They're allowed to detain.
I've got the right to go across there and knock his frigging head off.
No, you haven't, Andrew.
I have.
Andrew, can I ask you to calm down, otherwise I'm going to ask you to leave the interview and leave the custody suite, okay? So do you think that that behaviour that you showed there is appropriate?
It don't know what happened to me, but
Just got a bit angry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time I've done it.
When you're nice to people, like you're being nice to me now, and, you know, you're talking to me quite respectfully, I'm talking to you quite respectfully, you get more out of people, don't you? I don't need to tell you that assaulting somebody who's trying to detain you for a criminal offence is wrong. I'm sure you understand that, don't you?
Yeah.
Andrew, my advice to you would be, do not go around and punch him.
That's what I want to do.
I know. But we all want to do things, don't we? And we can't do them. Otherwise you're going to end up in here, which is of no use to these two, is it?
It's not nice, it's scary.
But I honestly thought that we would either deny it or Dad would be a little bit more obstructive than what he was, but he was all right until the second interview, so we did okay, really. Okay. Both of them have got no previous convictions, so I'm going to look at speaking to the youth offending team at the disposal of way of triage. Hopefully that's going to be a bit better than taking them to court. And they're definitely banned from Tesco's as well, so the outcome there's a bit better. I'm just hoping Dad don't go in.
John Farrow, the man who crashed his car but wasn't over the limit, is getting impatient.
That's alcohol. I will be pressing charges.
Okay.
I am sleeping easily left.
This has all been explained to you, hasn't it? It has. You've been locked up for unfit for drink or drugs, so it's an impairment. All right, following the accident you had, do you remember that much?
No, I don't remember no accident.
Exactly. So that suggests to me that you're still under the influence. started trying to tell me what to do, but there's only one gaffer in here, and that's me, so I don't like it when people try and tell me. He's still obviously under the influence of something.
To work out what he's under the influence of, the cops have another trick up their sleeve.
These boys are here to do the field impairment test, which is a series of interesting little tests to see if they think that he's under the influence. If they deem that he is, then they will ask for an FME to come out and take blood, obviously for the offence of impairment.
Can you take him down with the traffic officers into the yard?
Yeah.
Take him that way.
Right. Won't take too long, but it's just a series of tests to see whether you're actually impaired to drive.
There he goes, now the Bobby's showing him how to do it.
You must raise your right foot, keeping your legs straight and your toes pointing forward.
This is the one-leg stand test. He's got to lift his foot.
Pointing your toe up to 6 to 8 inches off the ground. And then count out loud. 1001, 1002.
1000 to 1000. I know it wobbles if I do that. Can I have a straight bit of ground? Because my ground goes downhill like this.
Which bit would you like then?
You must stand on my bit. That was
Right, next one is called the finger and nose test. When I tell you which hand to move, you must touch the tip of your nose with the tip of that finger.
Might have the old...
Yeah, Warren. Goes up here.
Right, next one. You must take 9 heel-to-toe steps along the line.
Where he has to walk toes to toe and not go off the line.
Right, keep your left foot on the line and spin round using little steps.
Either the line keeps moving or he's not adhering to that line.
Right, done. Come with me then, young man.
I'm not supposed to drive, I don't think.
Okay.
Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Right. I would say that he has passed the test. The items that he has failed are not down to his impairment, but mainly down to his lack of possible mental capacity to understand what was meant of him. So I would say that he isn't impaired, based on this test. So I think he's certainly under the influence of something. I would suggest that a blood test would be a more accurate reading of exactly what's in his system, and a doctor's statement to indicate whether he feels he would have been impaired at the time of driving.
From my observations about the test, it looked like he may have failed it. However, the bobbies have come back and said that he's passed. They still think he's maybe under the influence of something, which would coincide with the fact that he said he's under medication and he's had some today.
But Mr. Farrow is now refusing to cooperate anymore.
Been in and trying to be given blood. He's in there a while. He's refused to give urine. He's refused to give blood. Therefore, we're going to keep him in custody until the morning, until he's fit. Let the medication wear off. Then he'll be fit to be spoken to and fit to be charged as well.
A night in the cells brings most people to their senses. As a new day dawns at Priory Road, it's checking out time. And first to leave are the 2 boys suspected of stealing lead from a roof. Having admitted their crime, they're about to be released without a charge. All the 11-year-old needs to worry about is his mum.
Your property. Is it yours?
Get in contact with them. Stay away from them. It's a lot older than your brother. You need some friends of your own age. Do normal things. Playing football.
You don't want him to come back. It's not the environment that you want a small child to basically be in. While you're on bail, you don't want to commit any more offences. All right. Don't think you will commit any more, to be honest. Very neat writing as well. You could tell he was still scared and he was thinking about what he's done. And I don't really think that he's going to commit any more further offences, really. I know sometimes we feel sorry for him, but he's still a serious message that we don't want him back, really. And I think Mum's going to give him more punishment than we can.
Just look at that family.
Lovely.
That's what I miss, you know.
Ricky Love is also being reunited with his child.
Thank you anyways for that.
For weeing in public, he's got a 12-month conditional discharge.
Didn't really mean no harm, but it's the way through it.
How are you feeling at the moment?
Different.
John Farrow, the man who crashed his car, was under the influence of drugs. Prescription painkillers for a bad back.
I hadn't been to my doctor for a while, and my tablets was all coming down to my last ones. But I didn't realise even that I shouldn't have been taking certain tablets for even mild drive. It didn't even click in.
Right, Mr. Farrow, are you fit and well to get home?
I will do my best.
He wasn't done for the crash, but for refusing the blood test. He was fined £50 and banned from driving for a year.
I must admit, next time I see any of you, I will run.
Well, you better start running now then. Anyway, I'll see you later, Mr. Farrow. You'll be with us again in about a month, OK?
I can imagine. Right, cheers.
The father of the two shoplifters is nervously awaiting their fate.
It's like what I did years ago. I mean, in the end, it didn't work for me years ago. Oh. When I say, they've all come in, they've all good girls. Just actually got a bad temper. Hopefully it'll stop them from coming back in here.
But Dad's got to help them do that.
They're both going to be triaged, which means they're going to get released. As far as we're concerned, it's over and done with. There's no criminal conviction or anything like that.
We do need, obviously, your support of it, though, because what we want to do is make sure triage works, because we don't obviously want them back in police custody. I don't know how you feel about that.
I'll do everything when they get home.
We're going to get a telegraph from you when you get back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. OK, well, what we'll do then is we'll go to the desk and explain to the girls what's happening.
I couldn't have learned a lesson.
16 years.
So cheer, definitely, aren't you? State of you.
Obviously, it's been explained what's happening. There's going to be no further action at this time.
The truth has set them free. But was it the whole truth?
When you got money there, look. What was that? So why didn't you buy it? Cheers. Go on.
In the nicest possible way. I don't want to see you in here again. OK. All right, so you're free to go.
Good. I've been here 5 hours.
OK, well, I'll give you a ring later on just to see how I handle this.
Right.
All right, cheers.
I'm happy with them, but I'm also annoyed that they pinched a bandit when they got money on them. They could have paid for it. For the sake of what, 70 odd pence. You could have avoided all this, couldn't you? Yeah?
Where we can, we'll deal with juveniles outside of the custody and get other agencies involved like youth offending. But it can't be nice for people to come in here. I know I'm in here, but it's nice seeing me, but not with kids in here.
Next time, it's shut down in the lockup. A man who's been seized is having a seizure. Another man picked up is having a paddy. And if you value your freedom, assaulting an officer isn't the best course of action, no matter how rock solid your defence.
Well, I tell you what, I've read some fairy tales in all my life, but that takes the biscuit.
Fair enough.